Hey guys, so last weekend I stayed at Hotel Colorado in Glenwood Springs. So there's a lot that has happened at the Hotel Colorado with like paranormal experiences and sightings. But first, I'll just talk about the history so I can fill you guys in. It was built in 1891 and opened to guests in 1893. So back in the day, there was 191 rooms, and they each costed $3, which I think is kind of adorable. And it was $3 per night in the most elegant rooms, so most rooms are like $2. So Hotel Colorado was the first electrically lit hotel in the area at the time. So when you walk into the Hotel Colorado, you see like a million pictures of Theodore Roosevelt, and you probably would have guessed he was a big fan of this hotel. So the whole entire like hotel is kind of almost like a memorial to him. There's the Roosevelt room, and the unsinkable Molly Brown also stayed there, and she has her own room. It's on the 5th floor. It's super haunted, let me just say. And also William Taft stayed there, and so they named the dining hall like the Taft Dining Hall or something. I actually have to check on that because I forget what his name is. So other than those three people, it was also known for a lot of its like famous Chicago gangsters that stayed there, like Al Capone, and he had a lot of like underground like tunnels that he would use as escape routes when he was staying at the hotel, which I think is really weird and cool. So during World War II, the Hotel Colorado was a naval hospital, and so the basement was used as a crematory and a morgue. So yeah, there are going to be some spirits at the hotel. There was a crazy death that occurred there, and it was a murder, and it was between the maid and two other people, which I don't actually know who the two other people were. I don't think a lot of people do. And they were in a love triangle, and one of the people that the maid was seeing killed her because of jealousy. And so that room that she was killed in was actually closed and turned into a storage closet because there's so much paranormal activity that was taking place in that room. And so a lot of people say they could hear her screams once in a while from that room. So I'm gonna get into some of the paranormal experiences. And so in 1982, room 551 had some really strange things happening. So they were putting in a new wallpaper, and they put in some wallpaper, and the next day they saw that all of it had been ripped off of the walls and carefully placed on the ground, like neatly placed. And so they put it back on the walls. The same thing happened about like 3 times when they tried. And so then they decided to give up and put some paint samples on top of the bed. So the next morning, they saw that all the paint samples were off the bed except for one. They made that the wallpaper, and it was never torn off the walls since. So it's kind of cute because like the spirit chose that wallpaper. But like, that is so weird. I really want to check out that room, but someone was staying in it, so yeah. So the Molly Brown room is the most haunted suite. And what's interesting is I actually couldn't find anything about it. Like, I found a bunch of information about the other rooms that are haunted, but I couldn't find any information about the most haunted suite in the hotel. So, I don't know. And I don't know how many suites there are. Maybe there's like 2 or something. So that would make sense. So in the hotel, there's a lot of strange stuff that happens. Like drinks spill on their own, chandeliers spin, the elevator moves up and down by itself, and like pictures hang sideways off the walls when they were straight, and like stuff like that. And a lot of people believe it was actually the Ute Indians because they are chased out of the area back in the day, and maybe they are trying to chase us out too. So I found online that most of the reports happen between 2 and 4 a.m. So like the elevator moving back and forth, like they know there's no one in there, and they checked and like it was moving by itself, which is very odd, and that happened around that time. And then also just this, like, there's so many reports of this man walking down the 4th floor, just like around the hallway and by the Coke machine. And I just think that's very odd because there have been so many reports of this guy, and he just disappears. So like while I was staying at the Hotel Colorado, I really wanted to interview someone that worked there, but I learned that they weren't allowed to talk about any of their paranormal experiences. For some reason, like maybe they didn't want to draw tourists that were looking for ghosts. They wanted to draw like another crowd, but it was very odd. So luckily, when we were eating there one night, I asked the waitress if she's experienced anything, and she said she hadn't, but her friend had, and he saw the man in the 4th floor hallway, and he was walking like by the vending machines, and he opened the elevator door for him and like was waiting for him to come in. He looked out and the guy totally disappeared. So even like the staff that works there have seen this guy, and so many visitors. So another thing that people have noticed is that when they're in the main lobby and no one's smoking, they can smell the smell of a cigar like out of the blue. Also in the dining room, there's always a smell of perfume, and there's like a bunch of sounds of dishes moving when dishes aren't moving. So on the 3rd floor, a lot of people smell like horrible smells, and lights turn on and off by themselves. TVs turn on and off by themselves. Many people hear footsteps like late at night on the 3rd floor. We arrived at the hotel like around noon, and so my plan was I was gonna explore the hotel, like get to know everything, so at 3 in the morning I wouldn't be lost. And so then after dinner, we were gonna play with the Ouija board, the spirit box, see if we get any responses. Then we're gonna go to sleep, and we were gonna wake up at 3 a.m. and explore. When I was exploring the hotel, I noticed like a lot of really weird things that I wanted to share with you guys. So first of all, like there were about 10 rooms on every floor that was totally like locked up, and it looked like it used to be a room, but a lot of them were like storage closets, but I don't know why you'd have to have like 10 on each level. And so some of the rooms didn't have like room numbers anymore, and they had like a doorknob but like a lock on the door, and then some of the doors didn't even have a doorknob, it just had a lock and nothing else. So I just found that very weird. And also on like in the basement, there was this one room that was almost like caged over. I honestly think one lock is enough, but like there was seriously like the door was locked, there was a jail over the door, and then that was locked. And I'll show you guys like a clip of that. It was super weird. So after I explored the hotel, we went to dinner, and after that we went back to the hotel room and started playing with the Ouija board. So after playing with the Ouija board for about 40 minutes, we weren't getting any responses. So we moved on to the spirit box. We got a few responses. So then we moved back to the Ouija board, didn't get anything. So I'm gonna show you guys some of the responses we got on the spirit box. Okay, this is my mom and her boyfriend Josh, and we're about to do the Ouija board. Is there anyone here with us? Are you the man that walks the hallways at night? Is that you? What's your name? So when we were playing with the spirit box, we noticed that there's one voice that came through that we hadn't heard before. And it was like a British male voice. And so we thought after he responded a few times that we could contact him over the Ouija board. But sadly, he didn't come through. When we woke up at 3 in the morning, we explored the whole hotel, and we didn't find anything, like anything weird. We didn't hear anything except for the 5th floor. And we were just like walking, talking. We weren't even like paying attention. Then suddenly my mom and I heard the sound come from the staircase. It was like the sound of someone walking, but it was really loud, and it was only for like a second, and no one was up. So that was kind of strange. And another thing that I found strange is that like it's 3 in the morning, right? And we walk into the main lobby and all the lights are on. The music was like almost louder than it is in the daytime. And all the doors to the hotel was open. And then there's no one at the front desk. And so I thought like that's so weird that they would turn everything on like at 3 in the morning and like no one is even there if like a drunk guy like walks in. Like it's just very odd because they make it so like welcoming at 3 in the morning. Obviously, that's not paranormal. I'm just saying it's like very odd. And if whoever's watching this is like trying to explore the Hotel Colorado at 3 in the morning, just know that they're going to lock the basement door, but there is the emergency exit, and luckily I found that from exploring earlier, so that I knew what to do at 3 in the morning. So thanks for watching, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, or comment below. And if anyone has had any strange paranormal experiences at the Hotel Colorado, I would love you to comment. See ya!